up, all that,
Okay.
using the actual trailer itself.
Okay.
I'll start back here on your roof. The maintenance on your roof, you'll have a roof treatment twice a year, usually once in the spring and once in the fall. And that consists of a roof inspection as well, where you'll check the lap sealing around the vents and skylights, anything like that. Make sure there's no cracks, voids, splits, bubbles, anything like that. You want to make sure it's real clean, still soft and pliable. The roof treatment, what you'll do is mix it to 1 gallon of water to 1 part roof treatment mix. You'll brush it on the roof, wash it back off, and then wash the entire outside of the trailer. If you don't wash the outside of the trailer, it'll streak real bad, especially on the windows.
Is there a specific brand of cleaner or?
I can show you what we sell in the store.
Okay.
You can buy it or get a picture of it, either one. Any UV roof protectant. And like I said, they usually do that once in the spring, once in the fall. We'll have a maintenance schedule for everything. You'll have your exterior, roof and roof components, windows and doors, seals, adhesives, LP gas systems, water and drainage, all that stuff. This will be your maintenance schedule of what it is, how you do it, and how often you do it.
Okay.
There's 2 different kinds of rubber roofs. What is on those?
This will be rubber. The other style is TPO.
And as far as timing, if we wanted you guys to be able to do the service on it or anything like that, when's the time that you are the least busy and would be a good time to do it?
Usually we're decently busy on service year-round. It always makes it good to call in advance, especially if we do what we call waiters, and that's where we have a 2-hour window to do it, where you drop it off, wait for it, and pick it up within that 2 hours, but you'd have to schedule it on a specific day.
Okay.
And that'd be like roof treatments. We have tons of roof treatment waiters. You guys pull them in, we get to it right away and pull it back out. It doesn't have to sit on our lot for a couple months.
Okay.
More extensive maintenance or repairs, as if we had slide issues or something to do with leaf springs, that's where you would call a couple months in advance and get an appointment set up, and we'd give you a promise date and all that.
Okay.
Other than that, on the roof, I believe it's 300 pounds per square foot, so you'll always want to kind of have your feet stepped out wide when you're walking across the roof. Look for the ribs, don't bounce, don't jump. Try to stay off the slide roofs as much as possible. If you have to get on them, stay towards the outside, not the very inside of the plywood. The slide outs, they have the same style rubber roof. They'll take the same exact style roof treatment, so whenever you do your roof treatment, you'll have your slide out, do it the same exact way. Maintenance on the slide right here, your slide seals, you'll condition those once every 3 months. That'll be on your list as well. Same thing on these Schwintek style slides, you'll want to make sure you use a dry lube with PFTE in it. We have it in the store. I can have you get a picture of it or look it up online or even buy it in the store. It's just a specific type of dry lubricant that keeps grime and dust out of these tracks. They're very, very sensitive to any grime, dust, anything that'll get in them. And just like the slide seals, that's once every 3 months you'll want to clean them out. Usually air duster or a rag, or whenever you wash the trailer, you'll wash them out really good and then just hit them with lubricant. If you hear any grinding or whining or pops, first thing you'll try to do is lube them, run the slides in and out 3 or 4 times. Any questions on that?
No.
Right back here, I kind of skipped right past it. This will be your 30 amp hookup. That'll be where you hook your power in from your post as soon as you get to the campground. Surge protection, that's a pretty important subject. I can go over that a little more. What it does would protect against lower high voltage in a campground, whether a lightning storm hits and there's high voltage, or 20 ACs kick on at once, and that'd be a low voltage issue. Low and high voltage are both hard on your boards.
Surge protectors built in now?
They are not built into the trailers. We have hardwire 30 amp surge protectors, or we have a plug-in one that it plugs in right on the end of your power cord right before it goes into your post. And those are pretty popular because you can just right into the post with it, right into your power cord, right to the trailer.
Okay.
And the first time it protects you, it pays for itself. That's what's nice about them.
That's true. Okay.
Right back here, there's really nothing special. It is just ventilation for your gray tank system. For your gray water, there's no maintenance on it, nothing you need to do. maybe look at make these seals, if they're split, cracked, or dry or anything, maybe reseal it, but there's nothing really too spectacular about that.
Is there any type of netting or, you know, something to put in here so stuff doesn't get in?
It's small enough you won't have to deal with mud daubers or
Okay.
flies or anything like that getting in it.
Okay.
This right here, this will be the vent for your range hood.
Mm-hmm.
It won't have a screen because it'll close like that
Okay.
whenever it's not in use, and whenever it's in use, you'll just come back here and pop these tabs.
Okay, so you'll just have to do that. We'll do that on our own physically. Like if we're getting
Yep.
ready to use it, just pop it out.
Yep, and that's the ventilation for your range hood above your oven.
And
Okay.
and what kind of issues do you see when that you leave that open?
Some issues you'll see mud daubers build a nest in there. You'll never see any sort of water damage or anything like that. More or less it would be insects getting in it is why, because especially if you're cooking with grease or anything and it gets up in there and they smell it or sugar or anything sweet, they'll instantly go for it and they'll get caught in that fan and the mud daubers will get inside.
Okay.
When the wind's blowing at nighttime, it's up there flat.
Yep, you'll hear it.
So you would get up, have to get up and close it.
Yep.
Keep it closed
Abby?
unless you're cooking. That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
I just leave mine open. I don't worry about it.
No. Okay.
Something to think about is we'll want to get a tire cover.
Yep.
You,
Yep,
Just-
it definitely keeps the tires.
not only for vanity, but because the UV
Yeah.
will mess it up.
It protects the tires a lot longer, and to have a brand new tire go bad and never touch the ground in 5 years, the $10 tire cover.
Okay. Okay.
You guys are also pre-wired for an observation camera. That's more than a backup camera. It's almost got a panoramic style view to it. It is on as long as the running lights on your tow vehicle are on. It kicks on, it runs off the running lights. It'll see everything from this spare tire to the edge of that blue ladder leg.
Okay.
It's excellent for lane changing, backing into camping spots, backing in at home, especially if you have to back it in by yourself or anything.
Can you tell the age of the tires? I
Um,
think there was some kind of code on it that tells you how old they are.
There will be a code. Every tire has a code. I'm not sure how to read the code. I know it consists of a letter and 2 numbers, if I remember right. I think.
Manufacturer's name?
Yeah.
Maybe on the.
I'd say 18 or 19. I'm not sure. I've never asked Donnie, but I believe it's a 600-pound rating on the bumper. And we have had people put receivers on them, so you cannot go over a 400-pound ton weight on anything you put on the receiver, whether that be a toolbox or I don't know if it's legal to pull a small trailer, but anything like that.
Okay.
A lot of times I hear things like generators being put on them.
Yep, generators or extra water tanks at times, solar panels for people that dry camp, stuff like that.
Okay.
And that should be about it, unless you guys had any questions on anything back here on the roof.
No, I guess you'd have to go up to C, but.
Yeah, I was going
how
to bother you at the end. These two wouldn't want to get on the roof, but I'd like to get on the roof with you when at the end here, maybe
Yeah.
after the walk around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
I can pull one of the ladders over and we can look over the roof and I can show you that lap ceiling I was talking about, and also we have it in the store so I can show you guys what that looks like, or you can pick up a tube, that way you have it if you need it. Just
Okay.
Sounds good.
yep. And like I said, just to go over the slide again, your tracks and your seals are the only maintenance you'll ever have on the slide itself, other than the roof, which will be the same as your roof maintenance. So it'll all go hand in hand. If you have us do the roof treatment, maybe wouldn't hurt right after we do the roof treatment, take it home, run the slide out, do your slide treatment.
Okay. You want to go over this hot water heater now, or did you want to?
And I'll go over this real quick. This will be your sewer outlet as well. And I believe that is just for the kitchen sink. Should have another sewer outlet up there for the shower and bathroom sink and the toilet and all that stuff. right back here is your gray tank valve for this tank right here. You'll see it in there. It's a lot easier to get to when the slide's shut.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It's not so bad either way, yeah.
It's fairly easy to get to. Right here, your stabilizing jacks. Those are not for leveling. Leveling the trailer, you'll do blocks under the tires for side to side, and you'll use your tongue jack for front to rear leveling. Once you get the trailer leveled, that's when you run your stabilizers down.
Okay. And what are the, and I remembered seeing these hoses before, but I can't remember what they're for. So
Those are your low point drains whenever you go to winterize. You'll open those up, and usually what I recommend is those white caps just stick in your hot water heater and leave those lines open.
Okay.
They are just the lowest point in your water system, hence the name low point drains.
Okay. Okay.
Hot water heater here. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with older style water heaters that
Nope.
have an anode rod. These ones, if you ever hear people talk about an anode rod, or if you've replaced yours, if you have friends that ask you about an anode rod, you'll never have to worry about it. This has a newer aluminized tank, and it doesn't have calcium buildup issues, so it'll just have your plastic water plug.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't use a anode rod?
Nope.
I hear that on YouTube all the time, so that's good to hear. But I do know there's some kind of maintenance with that plug. You gotta drain it every now and then, or something.
The only time you'll ever have to drain it is if you have a stagnant water issue, or if you only use your camper about once every month or every 2 months. It never hurts when you get home, pull that plug out and just let the water tank be empty and get fresh air in it. Don't let it set with old water. Or whenever you go camping, the first thing you do, hook water up to it, kick your faucets open for 4 or 5 minutes, run all that old stuff out. But yep, that'll be your plug for winterization. Before you use your hot water heater on the electric side, you'll want to come outside and you'll hit this pop-off valve, and you'll make sure water comes out of here.
Okay, so you just pull it up.
Yep.
It's already down. Okay.
Yep, you just pull it up and you'll feel that spring pull it open, and if water comes out here, you
Go ahead,
can
try
turn
it.
it on your electric side.
Where's the
Oh,
heater?
like all the way up there.
Except you can just plate it to the flat. Oh, it is rounded, isn't it? Okay.
Yep, it can flip either way as long as it's laying flat. Reason for that being, if your water tank isn't full, you'll burn up your electric element.
Okay.
Where is it?
The electric element,
Yeah.
it will be behind here. And then this will be your gas side. Your switches are inside on your control panel.
Okay.
And you can run gas or electric, or you can run both if you're wanting to get hot water fast or keep up with multiple people showering.
Okay.
And do I have to light a pilot light or anything
Nope,
like that?
self-lighting.
Okay. And that's in this area?
Yep, this will be your pilot. Here's your gas line.
Awesome. Looks good. And this one, I do understand you put a mud dauber screen on.
Yep. This,
Even though those holes don't look that big, but I guess I know those mud daubers, they can get in everywhere.
Yep, we've had a few problems. We'll have trade-ins that didn't have them, and we'll have to clean out mud dauber's nest. Or we've had a couple on our very, very far corner lot by that church down there that we've had a couple of the toy haulers, especially these fridges. We'll pull them apart just to check them, and we have mud dauber issues.
Okay.
That's where your next set of mud dauber screens will come in. Will be on your ventilation for your fridge.
Okay.
And all those are, it's ventilation for the cooling system of your fridge. The back of the fridge gets very hot and it needs to go somewhere. This will be your condensation line for your condensation built up in the cooling process.
This has got a RV refrigerator, right?
Yep. It is a non-residential. So it'll run off gas or electric.
Okay.
You guys got any questions on the heater or the fridge? The fridge, there's really nothing back here that's anything to look at behind those. It's just circuitry and the cooling board on the back and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you got everything with that, with the hot water tank, right? Okay.
Yep.
We're good.
Hot water.
Other than that plug, there's really nothing you'll ever have to mess with.
As long as you don't push no buttons inside until I'm ready.
Yep.
Okay. Right.
Well, don't forget where the heater is, because there's before you die, you will turn it on with no water in it.
Oh, yeah. I've heard.
Everybody does it once.
You kick it on and you're like, wait a minute, I never turned that water on, and then running on LP the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Right here will be your other sewer tank drain. Right here, you'll have your other handles.
I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Okay.
Kind of up under there.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
So which are which here?
That one would be.
So that would be for the gray tank. This black one here.
Yep. You should have one handle right here and one handle right there.
Okay. And which is which? Do you know?
My guess is they have that mislabeled, which I'll check on that, but this should be gray tank and that one should be black tank.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep,
Is
and I'll
that-
have that label changed.
Okay.
I've seen them do that a couple times from the factory. They'll mislabel the handles.
Okay.
Yeah, because that would make sense. What? Got to have a black tank somewhere.
Yep.
What's the other valve for? The
Yeah, what's that white one?
Yep, I was going to show you this one. This is your freshwater drain. That's for your freshwater tank. That would be for if you were ever dry camping where you'd have to fill your freshwater tank as opposed to hooking up to the city water spigot at the campground. And whenever you're done, so you don't have to haul the water back or leave the water in there, you pull that valve open and it just dumps all the clean water out.
Okay.
Okay.
And, when,
Same thing when you go to winterize, you'll want to leave that open.
and so before we go hauling with it, taking a trip with it, they normally say empty your tanks because this doesn't haul that much water.
Yep.
So that would be, I'd pull that, get rid of all my fresh water, fill it up when I get to the new campground.
Yep. That way you have less moving around and a little less weight down the road and everything like that.
Makes sense?
Right here is your freshwater fill. That's where you'd fill your freshwater tank if you didn't have access to city water.
And yeah, I was going to ask you, when should we fill it there versus fill it there on the
here,
panel?
I think the reason they still put these, this is a gravity style feed where you could use a funnel, and if you had to use gallon jugs of water from Walmart or anything like that, if you had to buy jugs of water and get it in there, this would be your go-to. But if you had a faucet at home that you could hook a hose to, you would hook it from the faucet into here and switch this to fresh tank fill. And you could fill it that way.
I heard some, and I don't, like, it didn't make any sense to me, is that you have to, before you switch that blue switch, is there something you need to make sure is off? Because if you switch it while you've got water connected to it, or you've got kind of water pump on, or something like that, it can mess something up. You ever hear of anything like that?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
You should be good that you can just fill your freshwater tank while you're really doing anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a hose hooked to it, and if the phone rings, its water will start coming out of there.
As long as I have that open.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll either come out of here or these newer style fresh tanks. They'll have the drain that comes out from under the trailer, and you'll see it. It's a PEX line about that big, and it just starts running out up there
Okay.
Okay.
once it fills up. And then, like I said, city water. You'll just flip that down to where it says city water, and no need to fill your tanks. I do recommend running a water regulator, which someone, when they winterized it, left theirs on there, so I'll have to give it back to them.
Okay.
Yep, that would be for outdoor shower. That's this quick connect hose right here. Just quick connects to it. You'll have your hot and cold side here like normal. Always want to make sure when you winterize not to pass this up. That's a pretty common thing. People forget about those, and with them being on an exterior compartment, it's first to freeze.
Okay.
And they're real easy to forget when you're blowing out the lines inside and everything and getting antifreeze in those V-traps and making sure of all that you completely forget about this one. Just kind of one of those out of sight, out of mind things.
Okay.
Right here is, well, that'd be where your city water hose would go in. Right here is your battery disconnect. That, every time you store it, you'll pull that. That'll kill 99% of the power coming from your battery. but your LP detector inside has a dedicated hard line to your battery and will still pull. So the only way to kill 100% power is to pull your battery.
Okay.
And if you're going to be storing it for more than 2-3 months, I always recommend pulling the battery and putting it on a tender just to save the life of the battery, keep it for another 3 or 4 years as opposed to buying one a year.
Okay.
Running those deep cycles completely dead and then letting them set in the cold with empty cells hurts them.
Okay. So that would be, we'd keep it plugged in all the time unless we're storing it, right? So
Yep.
you wouldn't be going out and unplugging it. Okay.
Yep, in your tow vehicle going down the road, your charge line will charge your battery as you go down the road. Your battery will run lights, slides, radio, stuff like that. It won't run any 110 accessories like the AC or the TVs or
Okay.
plug-ins, anything like that.
Okay.
And is that just a regular 110 plug on the outside or on that panel there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, just two 110 plugs. Right here will be all your park cable hookups, satellite hookups, everything like that.
And that only works if the 30 amps plugged in, correct? That
Yes.
110 plug, yeah. Because
Yep.
there's no battery.
Yep, you'll have to be either plugged into 30 or have an onboard generator.
Just because I'm, what is this for?
That'll be where your water hose comes through so you can close your compartment.
Oh, like if you're hooked up to at the campground or something,
Yep.
right?
You'll run a hose. I also recommend a 90 because that's kind of a hard bend. We've had a lot of people have issues with their hose kinking and they'll call us saying they're not having water pressure. And I always tell them, go outside, check your hose. If it's kinked by a 90, problem solved.
And what's a 90?
It's a 90 degree.
Can you show them that thing you have in your pocket?
Yep, it'll just, instead of being like this, which this one has an air inlet for winterization, which I'll show you those in the store.
Okay.
But it goes into the regulator and it'll screw into this and it turns it 90 degrees down.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Also, your cable would go up through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Your park cables, water hose, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And the ants go up there. And the rats go up there.
Stop.
So you put, they say put still wool in that hole
Uh-huh.
to keep the rats out, and you can get that sticky ant tape to put on the line that's going up into that hole if you're going to be there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So why'd the light just go out? Is it because
It is a motion.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Wait a second. What just happened? Okay.
Yep. Those you'll have where it's off right here.
Uh-huh.
One will be constant on.
Uh-huh.
Two's a motion light. Right up here is your rocker switch for your front docking lights.
Okay. Oh, I see.
We've had a lot of people ask because they can never find the switch and it's just right in there.
Do you see that?
Yep.
Where it is? Okay. Because that's nice and bright.
Yep.
Okay. And then solar charger, if you had solar panels.
Yep, that'd be for solar panel for trickle charging your batteries and stuff like that if you have a dry camp.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You guys got any questions on that?
I don't think so.
No?
Not yet.
And your front stabilizer jack, same as the rear, stabilization only, not for
Put
leveling.
them down to the ground, do the leveling with the blocks.
Yep, blocks under the tires side to side,
Mhm.
jack front and rear.
Okay.
And
Alright.
I'm not sure what all you guys know on these Hensleys. This
Nothing.
would be a learning experience for me as well.
Good?
And Dawn said, are you guys taking it today?
No.
No.
We're actually gonna do the PDI if we find anything. We're gonna pick it up about the third week of March when we come back from a
Okay.
vacation
Yep.
and drive it on out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, see that big old gadget there?
Jesus Christ.
Yep. I've only had this one and one other one we put together, the only two Hensleys I've ever seen, and I've never messed with them, so it'll be a learning experience for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yes, power jack.
Yep.
So,
Right over here.
uh-huh. Okay, so now it's going down. Okay.
Yep.
And back up. Okay.
And right now it's off the ground. They had to replace the jack, and putting this hitch on, we had it on the jack stand.
Sure. Okay.
This will just be a light switch, nothing more than that.
Okay. Okay.
And if you ever have issues hooking up where the trailer's dead for some odd reason, back your truck up, hook your 7-way in, and give it 10 to 15 minutes. That 7-way, if you leave your truck running, will charge the battery, and you can run your jack up and down as needed.
Okay.
you know what a 7-way is?
No.
That'll be this right here. That goes in the back side of your tow
Oh, yeah, I
vehicle.
do know what that is. Yeah. Okay.
So it's got
So that
7
goes-
connectors.
Yep. Okay.
Right here.
And there's not like a preset, like remembers where you were?
Not on this style
Okay.
jack. On the newer travel trailers that have the 3.0 leveling system, they'll have the remember, like the fifth wheels have the hitch height remembrance and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Like I said earlier, our 12-volt battery is right under there.
Okay.
You got room for 2 then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
Running 2 never hurts a thing. Just always just wire them in parallel and good to go.
Okay.
I was just reading the other day, and I didn't do it. If you buy another battery, make sure it's the same model, same size as that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
If you hook them together, don't just go down and get one off the shelf. And check the numbers, the size of that, and get another one to match it.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And I think a lot of Firestones sell interstate batteries. We sell the interstate batteries, so.
Okay.
About anywhere you go will tell you what size deep cycle battery it is.
Okay, and that's if you're going to wire them together so they'll pull from both batteries. That's
Yep, and
really
you'll
the
hold
only
the
time it
charge
matters.
longer.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Right up here will be your LP tanks. What this is an automatic changeover. That means whenever this is pointed this way, it'll pull completely from this tank first until this one's emptied. Then it'll change over to that one automatically.
Okay. Okay, so you wouldn't need to, because I know that on some of them, I saw that you can leave it like midway open and it'll pull from both of them, but then you don't really know how much propane you have left over. Okay.
Yep, what's good about these is if you have your changeover switched over here, when this tank's empty, you can run off that one while you run to the gas station or store or whatever and go fill this one up.
Okay.
And
Does that
instead of-
switch flip over?
It won't physically flip over, but it automatically switches in here.
Okay, so how would you know that that's empty?
There will be a little glass piece right here.
Should be a red light
Yep, and
indicator.
it'll be green if it's good, and if it has to switch to this tank, it'll show red.
Okay, I see the
Okay,
green
so
in there
it
now.
always pulls from this one first?
Yep,
Unless you were to pull
if
it
you
over.
switch this like that,
Okay,
it'll
I
pull
see.
from this tank first.
And then same thing, the red light would mean it's empty and it flips over to that one. Okay.
Yep, and in this little glass dome, it'll either be green or red.
Okay.
Right now, it should be clear because it shouldn't have any LP pressure on it.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you just
Well, that makes
When
more
it-
sense than having
when
it
it-
in the middle.
it'll switch in here, but it won't switch this lever.
Yep, that physically won't
You-
turn on
So
its own.
before we go fill it up, we need to flip it, right?
doesn't matter.
It wouldn't matter.
It won't matter.
Either side.
Okay.
You can take this tank off and flip it to there. That way, if this one's down to here, it'll finish emptying that one, and this one will be full.
Okay.
And I always tell people, fill them as opposed to exchange them, because you have 2 brand new tanks right here with a 12-year guarantee on them before they have to be recertified.
Okay.
And if you go to exchange them, you could get a tank that's 11 years old, and you just lost your brand new tanks with the 12-year certification.
Okay.
Now, normally you have this cover on here, so how would you be able to tell those? Look at those LED lights. Is there an opening in these?
Yeah. This top right here.
Would I be able to see all the way down there?
This will mostly be for their handles right here.
So you won't really know. You'll have to just
Yeah, you'll
pop
have
check
to
it.
remove the cover.
So I won't have any idea. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
pop
that's the
check it
kind of tricky
once
part.
in a
You have
while,
to
yeah.
pull the cover to
Yeah.
check
See if the connectors were on top, that would make sense. But I mean, these indicators are on top, but yeah, hidden down like there, I'm not going to ever
Yeah.
see those indicators.
That could be $1 million idea. I've
That's
seen people
rock,
put
Sam.
the gauges on the
Right.
tanks.
And I've seen remote indicators that you can get. They're not cheap, but yeah, that LED
Yeah,
not going to help me
motorhomes
much.
are known for having the indicator on the inside with the onboard tanks.
Okay.
Another thing, when you go to swap these tanks, grocery store or whatever,
Yep.
they don't have as much gas in.
Yep, the blue rhinos, they're probably, I
Yeah.
think they stop at 75%.
Okay.
As opposed to 80 to 85.
Okay.
I say you don't want to get rid of your good tanks.
No.
It's too easy to just go to a U-Haul and get them filled.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where I've gotten mine. Get mine filled.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I think on top of keeping your tanks, it's a little bit cheaper that way, and you know you're getting how many gallons you got, and you're paying for the right amount of gallons,
Okay.
as opposed to giving $22.99 for 3.2 or 3.4 gallons or 4.1. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You all pretty good.
Yeah, that's where we get ours.
Yep,
done.
U-Hauls or a lot of the nuts and bolts are starting to do it.
Are they? Okay.
These are Dexter axles, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Should be Dexter 3500s.
But anybody that works on them, don't let them jack on the axles.
That's what I've heard too. Good.
Yep, you'll always go for the least spring mounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
They recommend do it on frame.
Yep.
Most jacks don't go that high, but,
So
but
when
they
you
will. They'll put that damn jack on the
Yeah,
axle.
if you put them dead center, those Dexters
Oh, yeah.
build a crown in them.
so you get that remote roadside assistant to help you with your tires, tell them to stay off the axles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was paid for itself. The roadside.
You guys didn't have any questions on anything on the front. The hitch, of course, like I said, we're all going to have to learn that together.
Yeah, when I come pick it up, that'll be the day that we get to play with that one the most.
Yep, we were watching a few videos this morning, and I think if they have me hook you guys up, I'll probably watch a few at home, and I might call Hensley themselves and see what they recommend on anything, like torque specs on stuff like that, because I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of torque specs and stuff on it.
Yeah, it's definitely not just your basic hook and go bar and chain. It's the real deal. It's got a lot to it.
Well, yeah, if you get, I'll be picking it up at the end of the month, or near the end of the month. So yeah, between you and me, we can get it out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I still don't think we've figured out how we're going to hook it to the forklift to get it around the lot, but that's a problem for
That's
Monday.
yeah, I was wondering about that one.
And I'll leave this maintenance schedule right here.
Okay.
Right here, this would be the manual override for your front jack if you ever had to, for some reason the power quit working. It'd just be right under here. You'd pop this cover off, and this goes down in here, and counterclockwise will go up, clockwise will drop it down.
Oh, okay.
And that would just be in case of any emergency.
Okay.
Right on that other side there, I can't quite reach it, but your 30 amp power cord
Okay.
is right in there.
How many feet is that?
25 foot.
25 foot. Okay.
Yep.
How often do you need more than 25 feet?
Occasionally.
Not very often. Okay.
Let's see, where's your hookup?
That was on the very back.
Yep. Very back corner.
Okay, that's pretty good. 'Cause
Most of them are towards the back of the
Yeah.
lot, or
every now and then you find one that's way up front, but those are
Yep.
older campgrounds.
I always see
What's
it kind of near the middle,
What's
but
another
Hose.
hose for?
that's for your winterization. That is what will go into your jug of antifreeze if you suck it through your
Oh.
water pump and your water lines.
Okay.
Your bypass valve will be behind that first wall. You take out the 6 square head screws, move that wall forward, flip that valve, and you'll put that hose in your antifreeze jug. Kick your water pump on, and as you open your faucets, it'll pull from that jug instead of the fresh tank. And you want your fresh tank empty at that time just in case it pulls any residual water into it. Freezing water pumps aren't cheap and they aren't easy to replace. And it's always good if you have that panel off anyway, you can look and make sure there's pink in the pressurized side of your water pump and everything.
That's one less place for a mouse.
Yep.
one less place.
Right here, this will be for your stabilizer jacks. It just goes on there. It'll crank down that way, crank up that way. What also works, a lot of people will take a 3/4 socket with an adapter and a cordless drill. A lot faster, a lot easier. We sell the thing in the store that goes right in the drill, or just a 3/4 socket. It's just personal preference at that point.
Okay.
It'd be whichever one was preferred.
A little exercise might not hurt me.
Yep.
Do you use a drill, Dad? Oh, you got automatic. You got a fifth wheel. You got automatic stuff.
Yeah.
You got the auto leveling, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah.
On the awning, about the only thing, there's really no maintenance on the awning. You don't have to treat it, don't have to clean it unless it gets grimy or moldy or anything. But with them being black, they dry out a lot quicker in the sun, and the white ones have more mold issues and lime issues than these ones do. Anything over 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, you want to roll it in. It's right at the push of a button.
Okay.
If you're going to be away from the trailer more than 1 minute, run them in, because even if you just run down to the gas station, you could come back and a gust of wind could have this over your trailer. And very expensive, very annoying.
Yeah, we noticed that a lot of people don't even use their awnings, and I wondered if that's why, that they don't want to have to pull them in and take them out all the time.
Manual awnings, a lot of people even just take them off the trailers and fill in the holes. These ones, it's just one push of a button to run it in or out. I think some people do get weary of them. If the wind gets them bouncing, they freak out.
Okay.
Right here, this will be where you'll adjust your pitch. And I think that'll adjust that for sunlight, rainwater, anything like that. Make the rain run off faster.
Okay.
Anytime you run the awning in, you'll always want to make sure that this knob is completely loose.
Okay.
Those have to slide in and out for it to fully retract to the side of the trailer.
Okay.
I heard during rainstorms the technique is to always put a pitch on it.
Yep, you'll pitch one side and it runs it off in that corner. Put a bucket on that corner and got to step in the mud and everything.
Okay.
We also got little funny gutters there.
Rain gutters, yeah.
Yep.
I can't see how that would help a whole lot if there was a rainstorm.
Not when I got big.
Honestly, be surprised by
Really?
them.
Really? Okay.
I mean,
If the gutters stay clean, you'd be surprised at the amount of water that can pour out of those things off the roof.
Okay.
They work good.
Okay.
Yep. About the only thing about the gutters, if you ever have an RV cover, they're kind of tricky. A lot of people take pool noodles and they'll cut a piece off and stick it over the gutter to keep it from tearing through the RV covers, because I know they're not cheap.
Okay.
Yeah, I put tennis balls over there.
Yep, tennis balls, pool noodles, something like that.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay.
Your steps, they're pretty easy. I'll look into that real quick. Power washer must have took that off. We have that tape in the store. I'll get it fixed for you guys.
Okay.
They just fold up, simple as that, nothing to them.
Okay.
If they ever get sticky, it never hurts to grease in between all these joints and anywhere they pivot or swing at.
Okay. So we need to be careful cleaning it if we have the stairs off, that we don't blow the...
Or have the tape.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
Yep, and like I said, we sell it in the store and I'll get it covered.
Okay.
Right here, just like...
Well, I was going to ask about this gadget here.
Yep, that'll just be... The reason this one's at a 90... Just popped off on this side. But it would hold the door right there. And I'll have to take that off and... Or actually... Yeah, I think I'll have to pop the door loose for... Or the catch loose for it. But it holds the door like this because if you let it open too much, it'll get into this awning arm.
Okay.
And if you ever go to roll your awning up and your door's in it, these awnings don't stop for anything.
Okay. Okay, so that would be, if we wanted the screen door open, then we would just hold, hold that open with that, so it doesn't do anything.
Or
Okay.
yeah, keep the door open for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, for the screen. Huh. I didn't realize there was a screen on here even, I don't think, the first time.
And that'll slide shut.
Okay.
That just locks back to that.
Okay. All right.
And then your handle goes over.
Is there a recommendation to open the screen like that and hook it to the door before you close the door as a whole, or?
No, they, the way this catch grabs this handle, it automatically takes the screen door with it every time.
Okay.
And if for any reason it ever just doesn't want to get a hold of the screen door, these two screws will adjust this catch right here. Just a little bit easier than having to take it in for service. But yep, it grabs that screen door and takes it with it.
Okay.
Notice you had 2 keys on the, or 2 key holes on this door.
Yep, one will be your handle, and the other will be your deadbolt.
Okay. And they're keyed the same?
I'll check the set of keys. I believe these 2 will be keyed the same, and those 2 will be keyed the same, but you'll have 4 keys total. 2 to this door, 2 to that door.
And are they unique to this?
To a certain extent, yes.
Okay, I mean, you still probably have the old master key here.
Yeah, us techs will have the master keys, but anyone just walking through a campground is not going to have the same key. I think.
Only the bad guys.
I don't know if Grand Design is the same, but I know when I worked on Forest River, it was 1 in every 100 was keyed the same, other than a master key hits something in the back of the deadbolt and sends them all up.
Okay.
Your most common key will be your CH751, which is right here. Those are common locks. That's the same lock on that door next to us. That Eagle has them. That Winnebago has them as well.
Yeah.
The CH751s are the most common key there is. They sell locks to change them out and make them unique.
And you haven't heard as far as, I know there's some that seem to have are rather hassle to change out. These look pretty simple.
These, you'll take this screw off, and then this hex washer right here, you'll take that off. The lock will slide out this way. You'll slide the new lock in, put that hex on, tighten it down, and then you'll put your tab on and screw on. It takes about a couple minutes a piece per lock. They're fairly easy to change.
I'm kind of surprised that that's just almost not a standard thing is to make those unique.
Yep.
Another 110 blood.
Yep.
With no TV hookup though.
Okay, what was this though? We haven't gotten
Right here, just like what's in the other side of your basement, this is just another water inlet for your quick connect
Do
hose.
you remember that blue coiled hose we had on the other side?
Yep, this will be a quick connect. People use them, wash the puppies off before they run inside, wash their shoes off, stuff like that, wash the step rugs, everything like that.
Okay.
Also, if you have step covers, it's nice to wash them off and get the gravel out of them before you roll them up and stuff.
Okay.
Right there's your outdoor speakers. The LED lights in those are on the same LED switch as the strip.
Here's another $1,000 idea. Why don't they make that yellow instead of white? It's just
For the bugs. I've always wondered that. We've had customers actually have us put a yellow one on the tube itself.
Right. Actually, yeah, I've seen some manufacturers put the LED on that, and some do it there.
Yep,
but I've always wondered why anyone would want a white light on the outside.
You'd think moths and everything would just be like, oh, this is our home now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right here, this is the ventilation for your furnace. You'll always want to make sure you keep any chairs, tables, tablecloths, anything like that. If you set up picnics, stay away from that.
Any
of course,
maintenance?
during the summer seasons, you're never going to have an issue, but whenever it's cooler in the fall and you have your furnace set to kick on at 60 degrees or so, you'll always want to make sure everything's away from that, because even from here, it'll melt plastic.
Okay.
I guess
Well, that's
you
pretty
wouldn't.
hot then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're awesome furnaces.
Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't be doing that much sitting outside during the winter if you're using your heater.
Probably
But you
not.
could in the morning.
Yeah.
Mornings.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to make sure everything's put away before you go to bed.
Yep, and you just want to make sure you don't lean any bikes or lawn chairs or anything against it.
Okay.
Just in case, you always want to stay away from that. And the mud dauber screens I'll also recommend for that. They do kind of help. If you lean something, it's going to keep it off at least a couple inches.
Okay.
Any maintenance or anything I need to do in there?
No maintenance whatsoever on that. I recommend mud dauber screens on it just because that would actually be pretty much the fix-all preventive maintenance for it.
Okay.
They don't even have a furnace filter that you replace every 2
No.
months or whatever,
Okay.
like you do at home.
Yeah.
Do you know if the heater has been started up in here?
Yep, whenever we do them on our PDI checks, we run them for 10 to 15 minutes to burn out most, if not all, of the oil that's in the system from the
So when we
manufacturer.
started up, would we get a lot of smoke? I always hear you get a lot of smoke when you first fire
You
these
should.
up.
And the way we do ours, whenever I worked at Camping World, they'd have us kick them on. If they lit and got hot, cool, shut them off. Here, we decided we run them for 15 minutes.
Okay.
That way you don't have smoke detectors going off.
That's the other thing I heard is somebody. I was reading somebody else's PDI and they said, yeah, we kicked on our heater and it checked our smoke detector.
Yeah, we had a couple customers call up and their kids were crying and freaking out because they were scared to death when they kicked the furnace on. So we had a long talk and the whole shop decided we just run them till there's no smoke.
Well, I for one appreciate that.
And this style leaf spring axle, they do pop a lot. That's one thing I hear from people. They'll bring it in for service complaining of their leaf springs popping. It's going to happen. There's no fix to it. It's just noise.
Okay.
Okay, so you're running down the road and it'll be... You'll
Yep,
hear
a
noise.
lot more on low-speed turns. On the highway, you won't hear it bouncing up and down. It's not bad. But when you turn and you can see those tires kind of buckle and shimmy and move, you'll hear them pop. And
Okay.
it'll just sound like metal popping against
It's a little better than what I got.
Actually, it is a little better than most of them I see because that's probably the number one thing I see flopping in the wind when I see it pass a trailer is that part right there.
Yeah.
Yep, they started putting these metal strap brackets right up in here.
Full tank full. We're going to.
Keep them from going crazy in the wind and losing a fender.
I see them all the time, yep.
Okay.
And if you lose a tire, you'll probably have to replace that.
That is probably the first thing to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I hear about
That is
that.
actually that Eagle right there. You can see the white fender laying on the ground where it needs replaced from a blowout.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the forums hate these tires. They call them China bombs because they're not the good years. They're not the good stuff. They're okay, but
most of the guys belly aching about the tires. They don't keep the proper pressure in it.
that's the other thing I hear is if you keep the pressure on them, a lot of people said that I don't have any problem with it. I just make sure I check my air pressure.
That and,
Well, you run about 80, 85?
yep, those should be 70 or 80 in them. And they're nitrogen filled. They're fine to put air in them, or if you have somewhere close to you that sells nitrogen, anything works. Nitrogen, it's more dense, so the temperature change doesn't affect the pressure like it does air.
Okay.
Where you get in your car and it's negative 10 degrees and your tires are 44, and the next week it's 80 degrees because we live in Missouri, and the tires are 15 pounds higher.
Yeah.
Nitrogen's more dense and less affected by temperature change.
I didn't know what the reading was.
I didn't either, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Another thing with it being more dense, it's less susceptible to rim leaks around where the bead of the tire meets the rim. It's more dense and less likely to make its way through.
Okay.
Screw resistors is getting ready to sound. If we leave them
Okay.
open, what happens is solids stay in our tank.
Okay.
And liquids leave our tank. And so eventually,
Everything I can think about here, your
Oh, the gas. Is there? I think there's a gas outlet or something. Isn't there a gas connection?
yep, right here. This will be your gas line for outdoor grill.
Just a little struggle to get to it. Anything to note about that? Just turn it on, turn it off type
Just,
thing. Light switch.
This right here, that'll be shut. You'll put your gas line in, turn it on, and you're good to go.
What have you heard of people having any trouble with having stoves and stuff up underneath their awning and melting their awning, or having it damaging their awning?
I've never personally heard of anything. I think as long as I would think the heat would dissipate to the sides.
I would think so. Now I had a 10x10. It melted the top when I had a little propane heater
Oh, like
underneath
the
it.
Chief's tent?
But yeah, that's going to capture the heat. This looks like it would
I think it would.
dissipate it a lot more.
And versus a fire, we're talking about a grill, probably more so.
Well, I'm going to have my little propane fire too.
Run it out further.
My dad said you can't have a barbecue grill in most of these damn campgrounds anymore.
Yeah, they're getting picky, and just like your stabilizers, a lot of places you'll always want to maybe cut up a tube of 6 or tube of 12 and keep with you, because they won't let you run any metal straight down to their concrete. They'll always want something between your stabilizer jacks and their concrete to protect their concrete.
Or their asphalt, I definitely understand,
Yep.
because then yeah, the asphalt will mold around it.
Yep, some of those campgrounds are picky.
Okay. Alrighty. No questions here.
Back bumper would be your sewer hose storage.
Dude,
It won't fit any elbows or any special connectors or anything like that. A lot of times I recommend people get one of those seal lock plastic Rubbermaid totes and just throw it in the basement with their sewer hoses, just something that seals and locks.
Monday through Friday.
and then change those out so mud daubers don't build a nest in there. The caps.
So you go get him 2 hoses and a T?
I believe it comes with one sewer hose.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll have to think about, well, or move it, I guess.
If you're going to have it done on what we're just
Twice.
a month in September.
Since I have 2 drains.
If it's just an overnighter, it's not a big deal. If it's going to be parked for a month, a week, you want your hoses on. Everything but the black tank.
Yep, the black tank you'll never want to just leave open. You always want to let it fill up and then run out all in one, because if not, solid stay and liquids run out.
I want to do that with the gray too, because I want to wash out my black nasty with the gray water.
Well,
Yep.
there's a hose, flushing connection for your hose. Black
That's
tank.
true. Did we see
The
that?
other side is a
Oh,
connection
we missed that
for a
one.
hose.
Yeah,
Flush
missed
black
that
tank.
part.
And that you'll just hook your water hose in, open your black tank valve, and run it 10 to 15 minutes, let it flush everything out.
And that's not a motion lamp there. That's just a
No,
switch
this
on,
is just
switch off.
normal turn on. That's just for if you ever had to dump at night. It's just kind of nice having the light right there.
If there was a light outside, it would be on all the time.
I know. From your neighbors.
Yeah, or animals, so forth and so on. Okay.
And as you drive down the road, that ice breaks a lot of stuff up and keeps your sensors clean. And
that's an urban legend. I read about that one. Yes. Hey, there's lots of YouTubes where people actually did that and drove like a maniac through parking lots and all that sort of stuff.
that's
And then
right, we
we watched that, and then they showed the result.